What you are about to hear in the next 60 seconds could determine whether you and your family stay safe this week. 100 million Americans are directly in the path of what forecasters are now calling one of the most dangerous weather setups this country has seen in nearly 300 days. And here is the part nobody is talking about yet. This is not just one storm. This is a chain. A week-long marathon of threats that will start today, explode on Friday, pause briefly, and then come roaring back next Tuesday with even more fury. If you live anywhere from Texas to Wisconsin, from Chicago to Oklahoma City, you need to stay with me right now because at the 3-minute mark, I am going to give you the exact hour-by-hour breakdown for your city when the danger starts, when it peaks, and when it finally ends. Before we go anywhere else, let me give you the 30-second promise. By the time this video is done, you will know the specific timing for storms in more than 270 cities across America. You will know which day is the single most dangerous day of this entire outbreak, and you will understand exactly why the polar vortex is about to flip this country's weather completely upside down starting around March 15th. That is your reward for staying. Now let us get into it. Here is the big picture. The jet stream. The river of wind high up in the atmosphere that controls all of our weather has become hyperactive. It is flinging storm system after storm system across the country like a conveyor belt that will not stop. We are not talking about one bad day. We are talking about severe weather on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of this week, followed by a brief quiet period on Saturday and Sunday, and then another major outbreak starting Tuesday of next week. And behind all of that, a polar vortex that is splitting in two right now, sending an Arctic blast southward that could reach as far south as Texas, Louisiana, and Mississippi around the middle of March. Winter is not done with us, not even close. But let us start with today and this week, because the immediate danger is real and it is building right now. Today, Wednesday, the Storm Prediction Center has a slight risk, that is a level 2 out of 5, for severe weather stretching from Evansville, Indiana, all the way back through Little Rock, Arkansas, and down into the Dallas-Fort Worth area. If you live near Cincinnati, Ohio, you are inside the marginal risk zone. The biggest threats today are large hail up to the size of golf balls, damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour, and the possibility of isolated tornadoes during the afternoon and early evening hours. The window for the most dangerous activity today is between 3 o'clock and 8 o'clock in the evening. After 8 o'clock tonight, the tornado threat drops significantly. Cities on watch today include Dallas, Fort Worth, Waco, Little Rock, Fort Smith, Evansville, Joplin, and Springfield. Tomorrow, Thursday, things shift westward and the stakes rise. A slight risk zone covers South Kansas and West Texas with a marginal risk that extends all the way into western Iowa. If you are in Amarillo, Lubbock, Wichita Falls, or Oklahoma City, Thursday afternoon and evening are when you need to be paying close attention. The concern on Thursday is hail that could reach 2 to 3 inches in diameter, that is the size of a baseball, and damaging wind gusts. A conditional tornado threat exists, meaning supercell thunderstorms will be trying to develop near sunset across the Texas Panhandle and Oklahoma Panhandle. The most vulnerable window Thursday is from 5 o'clock in the evening through midnight. After midnight Thursday, the tornado threat calms down, but storms will cluster into western Oklahoma and Kansas, and this will actually set the stage for the most dangerous day of the week. Cities to watch Thursday include Amarillo, Lubbock, Wichita Falls, Oklahoma City, Lawton, Liberal, Kansas, Woodward, Oklahoma, Dodge City, Kansas, Garden City, Kansas, Abilene, Texas, San Angelo, Texas, and Des Moines, Iowa. Now here is the part I promised you. Stay with me because Friday is the day that changes everything. Friday is the single most dangerous day of this entire outbreak. And here is a fact that will tell you just how rare this is. Yesterday, the Storm Prediction Center issued a Day 4 enhanced risk for Friday. That is a level 3 out of 5. The last time that happened was nearly 300 days ago. This does not happen often. And right now, the Storm Prediction Center has that orange enhanced risk zone centered over Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Kansas City, and Jefferson City. But that is not the outer boundary, that is just the most intense zone. The full picture on Friday looks like this. A marginal risk stretches from Green Bay, Wisconsin, all the way south to just below Austin, Texas. A slight risk zone covers Chicago, Omaha, Sioux City, and down to just north of Austin. But inside that orange enhanced zone, Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Kansas City, Jefferson City, Columbia, Missouri, you are looking at a 30% chance of severe weather and what the Storm Prediction Center calls a conditional intensity risk. That means if conditions align, you could see hail 2 inches in in diameter or larger, that is tennis ball size. Straight line winds pushing 60, 70, even up to 80 miles per hour, that is hurricane force. And a real risk of strong tornadoes rated at least an EF2, meaning winds of 111 miles per hour or greater inside the tornado itself. Here is the timing for Friday city by city. In Kansas City and northern Missouri, new storms will begin firing after lunchtime around 1 to 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Large hail and damaging winds will be the main threats through the mid-afternoon. After sunset Friday, roughly 7 to 9 o'clock, a large line of thunderstorms will develop and push east. This line will carry embedded tornadoes and widespread wind damage potential. For Chicago, Joliet, Rockford, Springfield, Illinois, and Peoria, your risk comes primarily during the late evening Friday, from 8 o'clock to midnight and into the overnight hours as that storm line pushes through. For Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Broken Arrow, Norman, and Lawton, you are in the highest danger zone, and your window is the entire afternoon through late evening Friday, roughly 1 o'clock through 11 o'clock at night. For St. Louis, Jefferson City, Columbia, and Joplin, Missouri, the evening hours Friday from 6 o'clock to midnight carry your greatest risk. For the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, Arlington, Plano, Denton, and Waco, storm activity will try to develop in the afternoon, but there may be some capping that limits initiation. Watch for any discrete supercells that do develop during the late afternoon, then the squall line arriving from the north during the late evening and overnight hours. For Amarillo, Lubbock, and Midland, Texas, your severe weather risk is conditional on Thursday night storms clearing. Watch for supercell development again Friday afternoon. For Little Rock, Arkansas, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, you are in a slight risk zone for Friday with hail, wind, and possibly a brief tornado threat during the afternoon and evening. For Memphis, Tennessee, and Jackson, Mississippi, marginal severe weather risk Friday with storm activity possible into Saturday morning. For Milwaukee, Madison, Green Bay, Wisconsin, and Rockford, Illinois, marginal risk with possible storms Friday evening as the system sweeps north. For Detroit, Michigan, Grand Rapids, Lansing, you are on the northern fringe of Friday's system with a marginal risk mainly during the late evening hours. For Indianapolis, Columbus, Ohio, and Cincinnati, storm activity will be moving through your area late Friday night and into early Saturday morning. Watch for embedded wind damage. For Cleveland, Pittsburgh, and Erie, Pennsylvania, the tail end of the storm system will push through Saturday morning with lingering wind and storm threats. Now, here is something important that most forecasts are not telling you clearly. Saturday and Sunday will be the quieter days of this entire 10-day stretch. If you are in the southeast places like Atlanta, Charlotte, Raleigh, Nashville, Chattanooga, your risk this week is relatively low. However, there could be some isolated hail and windstorms across Texas and Oklahoma on Saturday afternoon. And for the Northeast, including New York City, Boston, Hartford, Providence, Albany, you should watch for a wave of rain pushing through late Friday night into Saturday morning, but major severe weather is not expected. Monday will be the quietest day of the week. Nearly everyone gets a break. But Tuesday is when round 2 begins, and it could be even bigger than Friday. A storm system is already being tracked for next Tuesday that will affect Missouri, Kansas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Texas with a slight risk already issued. All hazards will be on the table again, damaging winds, large hail, and tornadoes. The Storm Prediction Center is watching this system closely, and confidence is growing that it could be a widespread severe weather day for nearly 100 million people. By Tuesday evening and into Wednesday, there is also a real possibility of freezing rain and snow on the backside of this low-pressure system as Arctic air begins its push south. And then comes the cold. The polar vortex is splitting into 2 pieces right now. That takes 7 to 10 days to translate into actual cold air at the surface. By next weekend and into the week of March 15th, an Arctic blast is expected to drop temperatures well below average all the way from the northern plains through Texas and potentially into Louisiana and Mississippi. The European weather model is showing a substantial Arctic event around March 16th or 17th. If you are in the Great Lakes, the Ohio Valley, or the Northeast, do not count winter out. There are likely more winter storms coming through the rest of March and possibly into April. Now, before I go, here is what the next 48 hours means for some of the cities I have not mentioned yet. For Wichita, Kansas, Topeka, Lawrence severe storm risk begins Thursday evening and carries into Friday afternoon. For Springfield, Missouri, Branson Friday evening is your main window. For Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and New Orleans, watch for storm activity Thursday night and then again next Tuesday. For Birmingham, Alabama, Huntsville, Montgomery, marginal risk Thursday and Friday with a stronger threat possible Tuesday of next week. For Louisville, Kentucky, and Lexington, Friday overnight into Saturday morning carries your biggest risk. For Minneapolis, Minnesota, and St. Paul, you are on the northern edge. Watch for wind and hail Friday evening. For Fargo, North Dakota, and Sioux Falls, South Dakota, winter weather, including snow, is possible late this week and more likely next week as the Arctic air arrives. Drop your city in the comments right now, and I will give you a personalized forecast for your exact location. Thousands of people are doing it right now, and I read every single one. Do not miss the next video. I will be tracking all of Friday's storms in real time, and I will break down what the polar vortex split means for snow chances in your city between now and April. If you thought this week was intense, what comes next is going to